Hello and welcome to the Saturday night stream of the Untitled Anarchist Seagull channel, where I promise you we're not going to have any more creepy ass CGI coins. Just the usual chud bullshit. And some Geoguessr to get started, I think. Yes, once is enough to get trapped on an island with Grifty the Coin. I know, that... I'm watching it raw like that after I realized that the only reason it was tolerable to begin with was that, like, Thought Slime and Sophie from Mars were making it tolerable by commenting on it. Okay, this is North America. But on, like, raw without that? Oh, Jesus. That was bad. That was fucked. And somebody spent actual money to make that, and then thought it was a good idea to publish it. How's my audio, by the way? Yeah, this feels very North American. It's also very low res. It's like somebody digitally... It's like watching a rerun from 20 years ago, and because they shot it digitally. Yeah, okay, Poplar and... something, I can't make that out. Okay, yeah, definitely that sounds very US. Fun fact. I mean, I've been seeing this meme going around, which, I mean, is handy, but I think one thing that could be added to it is that, Kiev is not, and never has been, the Russian pronunciation of the Ukrainian capital. That is some yank bullshit. It's the Russian spelling. The Russian pronunciation is way closer to the Ukrainian pronunciation, not surprisingly, considering how closely related they are. Okay, we're someplace racist as fuck. Well, I mean, we are in the US, but we're in some place that decides to put that shit on the flag, too. Well, it is. I mean, in Russian, it's K-I-E-V. K-I-E-V. But the stress is on the first syllable, Kyiv, which is actually quite close. I mean, the only difference is that the unstressed end is an unstressed I that sometimes gets elided together. Oh, the flag. Wait, I thought that they'd... How old is it? I thought that they'd gotten rid of Trenton, Georgia, you think. Okay. I thought they'd gotten rid of all the Confederate flag elements in the southern states' flags at this point. Oh, wow, no wonder the resolution is so shit. Or maybe... I mean, that was a private business there, so maybe they just decided they prefer the explicitly white supremacist version. Trent. Okay. You confused me for a second because I was, you know, I was talking about the pronunciation of the Ukrainian capital, and Georgia could have a completely different meaning in that context. It's like, they actually, Georgia pronounces it different again, because they don't like syllables to end with consonants. That is a language I've tried to learn, and it is not easy. Oh, hi, Oasi. Bill Bryson wrote about that in, Walk in the Woods. That was where he starts out. They, like, when there's a consonant, when they take a foreign word that ends in a consonant, what they normally do is add an I sound. Efsiba. That's a cool name somehow. King Street. Any idea? You ever heard of Trenton, Georgia? Yeah, me neither. Hello, Phoenix Rising. You don't happen to know where Trenton, Georgia is, do you? Yeah, exactly. The real Trenton. Oh, it is true. We watched the only... as far as I know, there isn't another of those, and... Fuck, I can't bring myself to watch another one. Trenton, here we go! Not much to it, is there? Oh, and just to confuse people more... Not only is it a New Jersey place name, but it's inside a Florida place name. I've been to the airport a number of times. The main thing I remember about that airport is that it's like one of the only airports in the US I've ever been to where the smoking lounge signs actually lead to a place where you can have a smoke. All I've ever done in Georgia is change planes at Atlanta. Dade Tire and Service. American Legion Military Museum. Oh, and the Vanguard National Trailer Corporation. See, that is the Vanguard of the Trailer Corporation class. So they just sort of plagiarize one city after another, is it? And what made them decide to change it to Trenton in 1841 anyway? Trenton City Hall, okay. That's something we can look for easily enough. Teleflex. That's the place you can go if you haven't got any minutes left and there's somebody you need to flex on and they're far away. You can teleflex on them. Georgia Department of Driver's Services. Thatcher's Barbecue and Grill. Have your barbecue someplace where there is no society. Okay. So what's a Dade County step? But without okay, Trenton United Methodist, Bank of Dade, Trenton Fire Department. Okay, here were the Trenton stuff. Ren. Oh. Yeah, did you catch him? Integer Holdings. That's a name. Ah, come on. Raphael's Italian. And it's nice to know that the Ninja Turtles got set up in some sort of productive line of work after all the fighting in the sewers and stuff. Hicks Hollow Farm. See, I think if it's already a farm... Tandem parking. Cloud Base RV Park. What? It's like RVs that contain what, cloud servers? Yeah, that is a skill you learn when you have cats, I find. I got very, very good. Because my cat, the last cat I had, he just wanted to meet everyone. He was... I've never seen a cat like him. He wanted to just, like, get to know everyone. So, when he saw there was a door, he wanted to explore that shit. Okay. Hampton's Deer Processing. Oh, that's cheery. Oh, not bad. 4,573 yards. Okay. God, I love cats. Okay. This immediately makes me think Colombia. Maybe in Antioquia. No, it is not. Kechamatan Lamuru Kantur Kepanadesa. We are, I think, we're either in Malaysia. Pancasila, it's a martial arts school. We're in Indonesia. Okay, yeah, that's an Indonesian flag. We are in some part of Indonesia. Well, the Indonesian flag was up there. New. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Because that's, well, I guess maybe because it's not... Oh, there's a chat delay of approximately 30 seconds. No, maybe the latency is closing itself. Okay, so someplace in Indonesia. I never get Indonesian ones right. Because Indonesia is so diffuse. It is so completely spread out over, I don't even, how many islands? Maminasai. Batas desa Maminasai. Well, okay, there's an anchor. By the way, what? Okay, so that actually doesn't narrow it down much. Yes, apparently you can actually look at radiation levels there in real time online. They have that online. I mean, Christ. Look, if you want to see something frightening, look at the Wikipedia page of the Battle of Chernobyl. Which, I mean, that title already, that is just already fucking frightening. Makassar. Okay, Makassar. Is that... I feel like that might be in the same island as, like, Bali? Yeah. I mean, the whole idea of fighting a fucking battle around that shit, I mean, that's just... That is just sort of beyond my comprehension that somebody would think that was a good idea. Okay. Only 419 miles off, that's not too bad. Okay, we have the Colosseum substitute. Okay, more palm trees. Okay, yeah, lots of palm trees. I wonder if the chat lag goes both ways. I'm gonna type this thing right now. Tell me how long it took you to see it. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Okay, I can barely make that out. It is very blurry. But I think that is an Indian writing system. Possibly Devanagari, but it's hard to say. Oh, there's another board there. Ah, hell. It won't let you just walk up to it, unfortunately. Okay, this is like... Oh, okay. Another try. Oh, that's never gonna be legible. Hell. Is that a flag? Is that gonna be a flag? It's a flag pole to walk out of there, I guess. No, it's a lamppost. Hell. Oh, okay, hell. Oh, here we go. Geoguessr. We are in a Hindi-speaking place. Rio Tinto, Sumitomo, Emirates. We are... Yeah. In some major city. Delhi. We're in Delhi. Jantara Mantara. Okay. It's always nice when the large countries give you clues like that to narrow it down. Okay. Delhi Kahai. Also, why do we say Delhi in English when they say Dilly? Where's the bragging station? That name is not ringing a bell for me. Udaipur, Jaipura. Ah, okay. Where they had this, they had the idea of calling the exclusion zone a radio ecological reserve. Which... I never in a million years would have thought to call it that. What's this thing called? Jantar Mantar. Oh, wonderful. I mean, did the Ukrainians take them offline? Or have they been knocked out? Or, I mean, does anyone know, really? Fucking hell. Actually, thinking about it, either in the Third Geneva Convention or one of the protocols, additional, there is something about, like, using, something that is that environmentally destructive as a military objective. I don't remember exactly what it was, but there's definitely something in one of the protocols. I mean, because it's obviously a fucking horrible idea. I mean, even quite apart from the idea of invading somebody in the first place, that's a fucked up idea. Jantikur... Jantar Mantar Kahe. What's the normal? I mean, I don't really pay attention to their radiation levels from one year to the next. मुझे ना मानना ये है गेस करूंगी. .6 miles. Okay, this looks North American. And also, like, how many nanosieverts is still a roughly acceptable level? Okay, so... And how long ago was that? Jesus. Christ, I mean... I don't give a fuck if it's right on the way to Kiev. It's... You go around that shit. There's no reason... There's just no reason to be fucking risking a release of that. It's not... I can't make that up. Come on, give me something here. Never seen a sign like that either. Oh, it's on both sides. Okay, that helps. Muskoka. Okay. Muskoka. God, I know that name, Muskoka. Is that in... That's Canada, isn't it? Is that Ontario? Okay, that gives me an idea. Oh, we are... Yeah, it is Canada. Maximum. Yeah, I mean... Anytime... You can always tell when it's the US or Canada, that's the only place where speed limit signs are rectangular and white. And Canada says maximum because it's the same in French and English. Parker's Point Road, Pine Lake Road. Muskoka. I feel like that's Ontario. Oh yeah, the highway name sign too. Yeah, it's totally not something... Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's see what else we see. And I know from one of my radiology books that a year of administering x-rays as a radiology tech actually still just barely approaches one commercial flight in terms of the radiation exposure. Colony Road. It's Canada, they're all colony roads. The Kershans and the Hulberts. Anyone need any Hulberts? That looks like a railway station, though I can't be completely sure. No, Pine Lake Cottages. $7.05. Okay, Muskoka, Simcoe County, Greater Toronto Area. I love that the Toronto metropolitan area abbreviates to GTA. Oshawa, Barrie, Peterborough, Chatsworth, Paisley. Okay. And that's okay, so 50 millisieverts a year. Okay, 209 okay, 165 nanosieverts an hour. So you could get basically your annual limit just hanging out for a day in that area, is what I'm getting out of that. Brantford, Jarvis, Otterville, Perry's Lane. Wait, okay, 209 nanosieverts. Yeah. Well, you get up to, well, then it would take 5 hours to get to 1 millisievert. Okay, yeah, you're right, it would take longer. Wait, no, it should be 1,000. I mean, a million times, okay, because a million times 1,000 is a billion. And nano is 1/1000th of. New Hamburg. Dorking. Great name. Oh, come on. Peterborough, Gwillimbury, Mono. Oh god, yeah, I was skipping Milla. You're right. I mean, skipping Micro. Yeah, you're right. Oh, they got a Whitchurch. There's a Whitchurch in around Toronto, just in case. Caledon. Yeah. Though they are nonetheless not necessarily something that you would really want to kind of run out and try out for yourself, I would imagine. Ah, okay. Ah, okay, yeah. Well, thank fuck for that. Kagaku Ippan. We are in a Japanese library. Shikyu Kagaku, Geosciences. Well, that is a serious relief. Astronomy and space? Okay. We're in somebody's fucking library. Science library. There's biology and zoology. Shokaki. Shoseki mochidashi kinshi. Don't move books out of this room. Okay, and some sort of reception desk that looks like the middle of the TARDIS. What is this place? I haven't had an indoor one of these in a long time. Hodensho. Okay. Video library. The Japanese for video library is video library. And for computer station it is computer station. Oh, okay, what's this? Space laboratory. Mikuro no sekai. It's, okay, that is a word normally written in kanji that is written in hiragana. That tells me maybe this is some sort of like children's exhibit at a museum of science someplace in Japan. Oh yeah, I mean South Korean does too. Yokohama. Okay, that says Yokohama. I don't know if that means this is in Yokohama. Oh, but it seems worth a punt. Like, okay, here's another one. The word for the lift is elevator. During World War II, they actually changed some of these words. Like, that's where they got their modern words for baseball fielding positions. Pitcher used to be pitcher. They continued playing baseball, but they changed the name, so pitcher became toshu. And batter became, instead of batta, it became dashu. And elevator became shokoki. Yeah, okay, again, we've got furigana here. Uchu wo tabi shita Yokohama no donguri. Okay, yeah, this is Yokohama. This is a Yokohama donguri that... Yeah, that's a donguri there that traveled around in space. They sent a Yokohama local delicacy up into space. See, these little hiragana on top of the Chinese characters... that's something you usually put for like Japanese language learners and for kids who haven't learned the kanji yet. So I think this might be like some children's science museum, or at least a children's exhibit within one. Hodogaya, Kanagawa Children's Medical Center, Oike Park. Yokohama Municipal Zoo, Mitsuzawa, Yokohama Super Factory, Train and Bus Museum, Tokyo Institute of Technology. That's... nah, that ain't it. Zoshiki. Saihoji, Rara Boat, Gyomu Super Kamoi. Yokohama Shodai. Nishiku. Children's Museum. Yokohama Anpanman Kodomo Museum. Christ, they have their own word for museum in Japanese, Hakubutsukan, but they decided to say museum. There's more, like, by 2050, the Japanese language will just be English words in different syntax at this rate. Okay, Yokohama Kodomo no Museum. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely for kids. You just look at this, and they have that static discharge display. I mean, we've got one of those in the Children's Museum near us in Indianapolis. Tokyo, Yokohama. Yokohama Landmark Tower. It's very forthright about what it's there for. The Gundam Factory. This is a... I didn't know that was a thing that existed. No, I'm not in Indy. I'm in Southwest Ohio. It's just the nearest one we have is Indianapolis. That's the one they... That's the one I always got taken to. Come on, where the hell... Cup Noodles. There's a Cup Noodles museum in Yokohama. Jeez, they just turn everything into a museum, apparently, in Yokohama. Cincy, that's right. Well, in the bush surrounding Cincy. Just under Kanagawa Station. Ah, hell. Different one. What is it? It's the Hamagin Space Science Center. Kid-friendly astronomy and science center. Well, it certainly explains why the library was pretty much all science and mostly astronomy and space stuff. Okay. Not bad. 6.2 miles. View summary. And we've got 22,788. Apparently I got 114 XP. I still don't quite know how the XP works. What about Kanagawa? Aaron Brothers? The Great Wave, as in the amazing paintings from that story? Oh, wow. Okay. I believe the time has come to look at some... Yes, I know the one. I love that painting. It's like a book that was written around it, a children's book that I grew up with. I think we're going to get back to Xanderhole today. Pause. Become a member of this channel. Yeah, no. Definitely not. Secure the foam board with some mounting corners. adhesive back on the print before realizing it was supposed to go on the foam board. And there was a bit the corner was supposed to go into. Okay, was it okay? Shit. That is one way to learn about... Oh, that sucks. What happened? Oh, well, so you didn't... Yeah, you kept the job at least then.
I guess the issue I have is that Hassan is simultaneously bad at debating, but then, like, I won't say shit talks entirely the concept of debating, but seems to have, like, this really bad perception of debate bros, probably...
Because they're assholes? That's probably why? I mean, a bad perception of debate bros, how could that possibly be? Okay, more link spam. And...
brought on by Destiny, and it's led him to saying some pretty dumb things about the concept of debate. He understands it enough to defend it as a concept. Fuck you, FD Signifier. Fuck you, Noah Samson. Fuck you, Hassan Piker. Go fuck yourself. Don't be proud that you can't defend your ideas in a debate. Don't proud...
yeah, no. Yeah, I know. He's like... yeah, this is just the most punchable picture of him. And I like how he says that, oh, if you think that there's very little point in formal debate and even less in the bullshit kind of debate that debate chuds are into, that means you can't defend your ideas. You can be good at arguing and not think that is the end-all be-all of, leftist media work. Like, I'm actually pretty good at arguing. I mean, better in text form than orally, but I'm actually kind of good at it. I still think that what he's doing is fucking bullshit. I think that it's actually pointless. Even if he weren't completely full of shit, I think it would still be pretty pointless. Yeah, exactly.
Loudly exclaimed to the online right and everybody watching that the left isn't... Okay. I will say this. We did just watch Vosh and Noah Samson talk for like 30 minutes just now, and Noah Samson did kind of walk back about just about everything they covered, it felt like. Oh, yeah, the weed light thing. For those of you guys that don't know, this weed light here, this was actually a gift from my editor/very close friend Cherry in the chat.
Tim Pool has weed lord, Xander Hole has weed light.
Basically, this was a Christmas present, right? It was an early Christmas present from Cherry. They had this custom made for me. Cherry actually helped me pick out weed that was good for, like, dealing with my just issues that I have, like, with anxiety and, like, stuff like that. Just helping...
Yeah, how about some for, like, you dealing with the whole racism and ego thing? Yeah, got anything for that, maybe?
Me pick weed strains and stuff like that, so me and Cherry bonded a lot on talking about weed, and they ended up getting me this cool little custom-etched little weed sign thing that lights up and everything, and I have it right here. So, I will say it is a little bizarre to make fun of that. And should defend their ideas. I'm sure that Noah Samson will just end up putting out another video about how debate bros are awful, and with the bisexual lighting and everything like that.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's really easy to put out videos about why debate bros are awful, because debate bros don't stop being awful. I mean, you've got Xander Hole, who's, like, proud of the fact that he doesn't know anything, and just admits that what he's doing is just basically manipulating people. You've got Vosh, who is manipulating people, but tries to pretend that he knows things, even though every time he gets into a discussion requiring some knowledge, it turns out pretty quickly that at most maybe he skimmed over Wikipedia. You know, every time I hear the word pansexual, it makes me think of pizza. It makes me hungry.
Wait. How by is the lighting? You know, the issue is that the blue overpowers the purple too much. How do they
I don't
achieve
give
that?
a shit.
You know,
The
no
white
sense
is
if you're
overpowering
you ever see
everything
this,
from
you
where
really
I
know what
sit.
it look like. It is spot on, but I'm looking at it on the camera right now, and it's just... There's like, the purple is good down here because the blue can't reach it. Like, maybe if I put the purple on either side, maybe, and it was like... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we just need more purple light? I don't know.
And I
Listen,
actually
I tried
like
to
it
do
with
the
that light
bisexual
off.
lighting, okay? It just ended up looking blue, but
I
you
don't
can
fuck
see that I
pizza either,
genuinely
but if
tried to
there's
come here with
pizza
the
and
video essay
fucking...
spirit. Genuinely, though,
I'm not going to turn it down
I don't
unless it's Altoona
video essay
style.
content. I don't. I just want to get that out of the way right now. Like, the format is fine. Generally, outside of the disagreements I have on this general, like, drama, I think their content is good. I even think the individuals doing the content tend to be okay. Like, as far as, like, humans go, I mean, I can't really tell much through the internet, but they seem to be okay people. My only issue is that it feels like they kind of have a little bit of, like, a high horse kind of attitude when it comes to, you know, live streamed content, because their content's a little bit more higher effort insofar as the...
And quality. And the thing is, it's not just about the fucking format, though. I mean, I do live streamed content, and I mean, the main reason I do a lot of live streamed content and a lot less video essays is it takes me time to actually get ideas on point, to the point where I could actually stand in front of camera and talk about them the way I want to. And then spend all the time getting the video edited, getting the green screen thing sorted, and all that shit. So I do this, and this is kind of partially a way I can kind of work with my ideas. I mean, partially it's just like, this is my socializing, really. This is what I've got instead of the pub at this point in the endless fucking pandemic. The villain from Coco and the vampire chick from one video game I'd ask to be in the middle. I don't know who any of those people are, but it's a vibe I think I can kind of get with.
preparation that goes into it is concerned.
Hi everyone, welcome back to this television show. I'm Noah Sampson, your host on google.com/youtube.com's best website, my channel. If you've got something that's gross or a little bit weird near you, like a garbage bag full of animal parts or something, get it out of there. Take out the trash. That's my #1 health foods tip of the day for today's day. Warning, warning, alert, alert, red alert, alert.
I have some cleaning to do on my... I have some room cleaning to do, guys.
Well, yeah, the trouble is that Xanderhole can't take out the trash from a room Xanderhole intends to remain in. It creates a paradox in time-space. Space-time.
I was actually... Oh, did you change my lighting up? Hey, look how gay it looks. Guys, look how gay my lighting is. That's pretty gay.
Alert, alert. This is not an anti-debate bro video. This video is, and I hope we can improve our online conduct and get better at recognizing white supremacist structures in leftist communities. Video. It just so
Okay, I haven't watched it, but I already like the idea that he's going for, and yeah, I can totally see how he ended up bringing up Fosh, Destiny, and Xanderhole in a context where he wants to talk about white supremacist structures in leftist communities.
happens that in order to do this, we need to use a couple of debate bros as our Caucasian punching bags. But they won't mind. As a matter of fact, they like it. They love it even. They love it when this happens to them, and we love to see it. This video is sponsored by White on White Crime. I'm here to correct the record on some falsehoods that are being spread around the D-boy zone, and also expand on my own personal criticisms of these spaces. I personally, and you can shit on the top of my head for saying this, but I personally think that people like Vosh have the ability to do a lot of good with their platforms. Teaching young...
Yeah, the ability, but clearly not the willingness.
people how to use arguments and rhetoric to push back against their 9 o'clock bedtimes for reasons not unrelated to gaming. Spreading socialism with...
Yeah, except the thing is he actually isn't good at using arguments and rhetoric to convince somebody even halfway discerning. He really isn't that good at it, because all he does is just cheap manipulative shit. Yes. Yes, that is good. I mean, it isn't actually particularly strong rhetorically. It is... I have experienced... Anyone, I think, who's been to university in... or been to university pubs has encountered at least a couple of guys who have the exact same skill set Foch has. Namely, like, a couple of undergrad credit hours of stuff that they think they understand way better than they actually do. An ability to sound very calm like this and enunciate very well, and you can bring this sort of lower voice tone because this makes it all sound very authoritative, and I'm going to explain this to you because obviously I know more about this than you, even though I've only read one book and actually I didn't finish it. I just sort of glanced at the index and it didn't look very good, but I'm going to count it as a book I read this year. And I mean, that's it. And then just be dishonest and pretend, and when somebody contradicts something you said and points out you got something wrong, you pretend you didn't say it. That's Vosh's skill set right there. I don't actually think it is particularly good. It's just, I mean, it's bullshit. And maybe there is utility for bullshit. I mean, I suppose there is. It depends on who you're bullshitting and what for. But I found this in so many different like fucking shitty college drinking places that I'm just not impressed when I see it online. It's just the same level of crap.
With Discord characteristics across the globe. No, but seriously, I do appreciate what he and other members of the live streaming community do. It's a different skill set that's important to have, and denigrating this community from the outside is the last thing that I want to do. That being said, there are some clear problems with the way that debate spaces operate that will only continue to arise until they are properly addressed, so that's why I'm here. I can fix them. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but you know what they say, shoot for the moon, and when the bullet travels back to Earth, you'll kill a teenager in a nearby town. I brought a friend along with me for today's video. Why don't you come?
See, okay, this is funnier than every single attempt that I've heard Xanderhole and Foch make at being funny. That was genuinely funny.
Come on out, buddy.
Whoa, hey everybody, it's me, Good Faith Gary.
This is Good Faith Gary. Everyone say hello.
Howdy, y'all.
No, not you. I'm telling them to say hello to you.
Oh, my bad.
This thing reminds me of that one, like, monster creature. You guys ever watch Ed, Edd n Eddy when you were a kid? You guys remember that show on Cartoon Network, Ed, Edd n Eddy? You guys remember the studio that made that show and their horrific fucking logo that would play at the end of every episode that would be like nightmare fuel? It looks like
I don't
they
remember
turned
any of this
Clippy
shit.
into like the art style of the
Should
logo that you see at the end of each Ed, Edd n Eddy episode. Oh god, none of you here get the reference that I'm making. Oh god, am I old? Is this what it feels like to be old? Oh my fucking...
No, shut the fuck up. You're not old. Because I'm pretty sure I am at least a decade and a half older than you. And if you're old, then that just makes me sort of archaeological, I think. So no, you're not. You're just an asshole.
God. Oh no.
Wait, Gary, aren't you just Clippy from the Windows thing?
I don't know who that is.
I'm pretty sure you are, like that animated Microsoft.
My name's Gary, so it's on my birth certificate.
Okay, well, I've brought Good Faith Gary in to help us out by stepping in if I ever start acting in what debate streamers might deem bad faith.
I'm gonna be looking out for any uncharitable, strawman, poisoning of the well style situations.
Hopefully this will help keep the dialogue open, because honestly I don't trust myself enough to not be a dick to viewers of debate streamers, even though I used to be one of them.
Yeah, you've been on leftist Twitter for a little too long, huh?
Right.
I'm Good Faith.
Yeah, and see, honestly, judging from the chat of these people, how old is Zan anyway? How old is he? I mean, he looks like he's about 17, but at a certain point everybody starts to look about 17 to you. I mean, being a dick to the viewers of Foch and Xanderhole and Destiny, I think is actually reasonable, because I read their chats, and the chats are full of people who suck. Oh, holy shit, I'm 20 years older than him. Jesus. Yeah, he doesn't... he does not yet to talk about feeling old. Yeah, that's... No, fuck that. Okay.
Faith Gary, and I love to engage.
Okay, man.
Setting up shop in the marketplace of ideas.
You can go now, but just ping me if you need to interject, okay?
Alrighty. Good faith to you and yours.
Anyways, if you're a streamer that's watching this live right now, I forbid you from pausing this video to pick at me like a scab and go me, 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 me. You're gonna keep this video playing and you're gonna like it. I'm just joking, but if you do need to pause, now would be a great time while I have my Patreon link on the screen. Go refill your nuggies and warm milky and pay me some money, okay? I'm doing God's work. Organized religion moment. I'm like the white
You should also donate to me.
Joel Osteen.
And no, you really shouldn't. In fact, if there were a way to negative donate to his Patreon, I would recommend doing it. I don't know what the fuck I don't even know if he's got a Patreon, but whatever is in there is just by definition too much. For what he puts out there, it's too much.
Why is that in the script? Come on. Alright, thanks. Time to go. Thank you.
Well, here we go. The Zanman, my segment of the video. This is exciting. Hearing my own voice makes me sick. Here we go.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Oh, God.
I had been spending the last month or so working on a couple different scripts for videos when the following clip was brought to my attention last week. It's from a video by the leftist streamer and YouTuber Xander Hall titled "Why LeftTube is Dying and the Next Anti-SJW Wave is Rising."
Oh, we saw this one. Yeah, and I mean, the short answer is, yeah, he knows he's part of this anti-SJW wave.
Oh no, this situation sounds dire. We better take a look, see what's going on.
You'll notice, and we talked about this earlier, there are some people online in the political scene right now that are left-wing, that are growing, and are doing well. Many of the creators that are really blowing up right now are newer essay, commentary, bisexual lighting YouTubers. Good example of this is Noah Samson. We just did...
Okay, who invented this term bisexual lighting? Because I've been hearing that a lot lately, and I would really like to hope that it's not this fool.
Did a segment earlier covering...
Oh, hey, that's me.
Noah Samson, how he's actually a dumb...
Oh, god damn it.
Wait, okay. I will say this. It does feel a little dishonest to me that Noah Samson is taking clips of me shit-talking Noah prior to us hashing out the disagreement that we had.
Well, the thing is, just because you hashed it out doesn't change the fact that you did it, and also, you really... I mean, it's very much a pot-kettle situation when you start throwing things like that around, Zan.
And then me apologizing, and then not only did I apologize for my, like, abrasiveness on stream and on Twitter, but I also put out a public statement both on stream and on Twitter saying, false alarm, never mind, it was a misunderstanding, Noah Samson is cool, we're good, we worked it out, yeah, it's all good.
Wow,
so
and yet, despite that, he still finds all the fucked up shit you do every single day on stream problematic. Wow, how ungrateful. I mean, it is rare that Xanderhole will actually even admit to apologizing when he's wrong, because he would be doing nothing else on stream. He's just kind of wrong a lot. But it's possible for somebody to apologize for personally insulting you, and you to continue to think that they suck because of all the other shit they do. It's entirely possible.
It does feel like a bit of well poisoning to take something I said prior to our working out of a misunderstanding and both of our apologizing to each other, if I recall correctly. I don't know if he apologized for anything that he said or did, but I think he apologized for, like, the misinformation about me using the R slur. But, like, it does feel a little weird to me. It's not a nice feeling. That dude is literally gaining 4,000 subs a day right now, and this worries me. I am worried about channels like Noah Samson and people like Hassan blowing up on YouTube because they're...
Well, yes, because it completely undermines the idea that any, online left content is dying. If you've got people blowing up and it's just that they happen to be people that you don't like being an anti-SJW chud.
They're stupid and they can't defend their positions.
Now here's where I paused the video and thought, Tom Hardy gif from Mad Max.
I will admit, I was pretty spiteful here. I will admit, I do believe that a lot of the video essayist content, I think, there's a saying, okay? There's a saying, chat. Have you ever heard the saying, those that can't do, teach? Generally, I don't really like that saying very much because it implies that, like...
Because he can't do, and he also can't teach.
teachers are less deserving of like better pay or whatever because they're somehow not qualified. I don't like that implication of the saying, but I do think that it has some level of, application here. Being able to completely on your feet use good rhetoric and to have the skill to debate someone effectively is, well, as I said before, it's a skill. And a skill is something...
Okay, but so the idea is that people who write, thoughtful content that a lot more thought went into than this, for example, or than Xanderhol's little shitfest here, are examples of people who can't do because they don't get into, fucking dishonest shouting matches on the internet. I mean, see, if you write an essay, you are not teaching people to engage in dishonest online debate. You're simply making an argument. You are making an extended argument of some, expressing a point of view on a particular subject. That isn't those who can't do teach. It's a completely different thing.
That has to be grown and cultivated through practice, and it has to be good practice. It can't just be, like debating random no-ones in Discord while you're off stream. You really have to, stick your neck out there and try to challenge yourself to learn and get better at debating.
Well, I don't know. How about instead of challenging yourself to learn and get better at being dishonest in arguments on live streams, you decided to just sort of learn about the stuff that you're talking about? How about you just take a hiatus from this shit and read some fucking books? Because it's frankly a little bit cringy every time something that requires even the slightest background reading comes up in either of these chud streams. Xanderhol and Vosh. They clearly just do not know what the fuck they're going on, and at best they'll go to Wikipedia and then misunderstand that. So, I mean, rather than just learning how to be manipulative, what if you sat and just sort of learned about stuff? You would actually make better content if you knew things.
And it's a difficult skill. And many people aren't ready for the long, bumpy, uphill road that it is growing, and especially if
long, bumpy, uphill road. Shut the fuck up, you've been doing this for like 5 minutes.
At least, if you don't have any prior debate experience before doing this whole YouTube thing, having to learn how to do good rhetoric, learn these studies, these facts, these stats, these arguments that you need to...
When are you gonna do that? Because you don't know any of that stuff. It becomes entirely evident every time a subject other than talking about yourself comes up that you don't know any of that shit. People embarrass you every time.
Use when debating, insert given conservative or right-wing figure. These are skills that it's just not for everybody. It really isn't. Not everybody can debate. That's not...
I like how he's created this hierarchy of skills where providing thoughtful and interesting analysis is below being manipulative and browbeating people on the internet. I mean, that's... I don't know if I would have necessarily created that particular hierarchy. But he's doing that, and he's gonna do him.
A moral condemnation. That's not me looking down on anybody. It's just...
Yes, it fucking is you looking down on anybody. You literally said that this is an example of those who can't do teach. That is as looking down at... That is totally looking down at somebody. You're talking about this like you're the fucking... Magnus Carlsen of, leftist apologetics. And you're looking down at these essayists with their thoughtful content and their clever expression of it and their interesting visuals because they have not learned the way of the debater. And it's like, what the fuck? Yes, you're looking down on them. You look down on basically everyone, I should note, except for Fosh. You can't look down on him because then your chin would start to come out of his anus.
A certain set of skills that some people either have the willpower or sometimes just the natural talent, or maybe just the perfect set of circumstances in their upbringing that led to them being very good at debating and arguing. Hint, hint, Destiny. That's a lot of where I think his skill comes from. Is he's had that upbringing where he just played a lot of competitive games and got good at yelling and arguing with people. So he's just really good at thinking on his feet. These are skills that not everybody has, and that's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean you're any lesser of a...
See, the thing is, thinking on your feet is not the same thing as knowing what you're talking about. Yeah, and the thing is, when they talk about winning debates, it's like, what's the definition of winning? Because what they do, I mean, and there's no better example of this than the whole shit fit around fucking that horrible discussion between Fosh and Professor Flowers, where Fosh tried to put words in her mouth for like an hour or two, that couldn't do it. She did not allow herself to be browbeaten into saying what he needed her to say in order to discredit her, and so he just turned around later, declared victory by just lying, claiming she said it anyway. And Xander Hull either didn't bother to check that out, or did and just didn't care and just ran with it as well. I mean, that's not a skill. That's just chutzpah.
Content creator, if you aren't capable of doing...
And yeah, I mean, unions, mutual aid, tactics, history, movement history and stuff like that. I mean, I will admit I do not, I don't comprehensively watch this crap because there's only so much of it I can stomach. But I don't hear him doing that. The closest he comes is to explaining why the left should be a safe space for Nazis. I mean, I guess that is praxis in the broadest sense of a thing that somebody might do.
Doing that, like, debate style, thinking on your feet in, like, a really heated environment type content. The problem is, though, is that if you can't do that sort of debate format content, naturally the type of content you're going to make would be non-debate style content if you're trying to still get your ideas out there, which would naturally be video essay type content. There's nothing wrong with making...
Yeah, see, again, I'm not looking down on it, but I think that the reason that people do thoughtful content rather than the same kind of bullshit I do is because they just can't hack it. I mean, here's the thing. I'm actually kind of good at arguing with people because I grew up in an environment where I kind of had to be good at that shit. I mean, better in writing than orally most of the time, but... I mean, I just don't see the point of it. I think it's important to develop ideas that go into some kind of depth. And simply some sort of, like, verbal boxing match, some kind of just pointless verbal sparring with some chud. I mean, I don't give a shit. First of all you're doing is platforming some chud. And that's not good. Because the thing is... it doesn't matter how convinced you are that you embarrassed the chud. Like, when Nick Griffin, liberals in Britain still are over the moon about the Nick Griffin debate years and years ago. When Nick Griffin of the British National Party, one of the biggest neo-Nazi parties in Britain, complete asshole, strangely, and so he got a debate, I think, on the BBC, and... the Liberal on the BBC, he debated, of course, completely mopped the floor with him in terms of facts and everything. And so they say, oh well, we've beaten fascism. Liberals are still acting like that was how you beat fascism, and the thing is, the Fash didn't see it that way. Because as far as the Fash were concerned, look, our guy got on TV, our ideas got on fucking TV, and the people who are watching it from their end don't give a shit that a lot of this stuff isn't true. Like, TERFs don't give a shit that their stuff isn't true. I mean, you notice it the minute... I mean, it's the same thing. Like, if you argue with them and you actually know about the specific subject matter that they've decided to make the whole thing turn around, like, let's say you're really good, reproductive biology really well, or something like that, and so they try to make it all about reproductive biology, and then you point out, yeah, actually, that's not how any of that works, and then what they don't say, oh shit, you're right, my entire worldview's fucked. They change their complete argument. They just switch over to a completely different thing. They don't give a fuck. Debate is absolutely pointless with these people. There is absolutely nothing to be gained from talking to them that can't be gained, and I would say better, from talking about them. Because the nice thing about talking about them is you're not actually giving them an opportunity to respond. You're not actually giving them a platform to spin even more bullshit. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, I can't. When he talks about all this debate stuff and how supposedly important it is, I can't help thinking of a guy who this is something that was on the BBC a few years ago. Guy who was in some British Fash group back in the 80s, and then he left, and notably, he did not monetize the fact that he left. He just sort of quietly started trying to kind of create a safe way for other people who wanted to leave. That was his thing. And he was interviewed a few years ago, and they asked him, what made you realize that you were on the wrong side of history? And he said, actually, what did it was walking down the street, and you have all these ordinary people screaming Nazi scum off our streets, and at a certain point that gets to you, and you start to have to question your life choices of all these people hate you, and also they're connecting you with the worst people in the world. That's what he said. That's so the idea that you're somehow getting to them with reasoned argument, like that actually is how any of this works. It isn't. What tells, I mean, maybe in some rare cases that's how it works, but no, not really. Talking about somebody who most people aren't going to interact with ever is just as good, at least, as talking to them, and reasoned debate is nowhere near as good when dealing with fascists as simply making it very clear that if they dare to come into your area, you're going to very quickly send them out of there, and they will either run away or they'll get their asses kicked. I mean, this is just such nonsense.
Making this type of content. I guess the thing that frustrated me, and granted that quote is coming off the heels of me and Noah arguing on Twitter, so I was very spiteful and angry, and that I will totally own up to, but...
Sanderhole spiteful? I can't imagine. Perish the
thing
thought.
that worries me, I guess, is that I'm seeing a larger percentage of the online left start to prop up the video essayist content.
Prop up. Yes, it's a conspiracy. The online left is conspiring to prop up the video essayist content. When they obviously should be propping up his bullshit, whatever the fuck this is. No, maybe it's just that people like a thoughtful discussion by a knowledgeable person who knows how to tell a story more than they like some fucking Twinkie that's been shaped into into human form, just crapping on and being full of shit all the time. I mean, maybe it's just that people like serious content better than bullshit.
That, as at least when I've seen of some regular Twitter discourse from creators that aren't really big fans of debate at all, and that's fine. You don't have to be a big fan of debate. You don't have to want to debate or anything.
Speaking of debate, okay, this guy, his whole thing is that supposedly he's really good at defending positions, right? You know which position he has, like, I've never heard him defend. I've never heard him make an argument for it. It's his fucking underlying assumption that formal online debate, live action formal debate is somehow such an important thing to be doing. I've never heard him actually explain why that is. I've never heard him make an argument for it. He just assumes that that's the case. I don't think he's ever given any thought to it.
My problem is when these particular figures, the ones I've referenced, specifically shit talk the debate format and those that engage in it. Because
those that engage in it are shits. You can't talk about shits without shit talking. That's how shit talking works.
Because I think that, just objectively speaking, we need to broaden our tactics as much as possible.
Broaden our tactics. Oh, it's a we, too, we. So that means he's gonna, learn how to make thoughtful content? He's gonna broaden his tactics?
Don't really think this is a controversial take, at least I'd hope it's not. I think that having video essay content that's highly edited and well-prepared like Noah Samson is good. In fact, a lot of the shit that I've learned, that I've used to win debates, I learned from video essayist content. Because video essayist content is way better at being educational, at least...
Yes! Exactly! Like, nobody learns anything from this shit except, like, what an asshole Vosh is. I mean, Xanderhole, like, it's really hard for me to tell them apart because they do basically the same shit except, like, Vosh has a little bit more polish when he does it. But, I mean, it's like... Yeah, this is not educational. What I'm doing isn't exactly educational content. I occasionally develop, an idea that might be useful, but mostly I'm just, bowling bouncers at these dickheads. But yeah, and that's the thing. These guys, from what I've seen, they treat fascists way better than that they treat leftists. They get into this sort of bullshit drama invariably with people to their left, which is a lot of people.
It's better at being educational in a more nuanced and detailed way because it's prepared and it's edited and it's scripted, and so...
And it's thoughtful, and it's written by somebody who's actually done some research and considered the issue as opposed to just sort of hitting a vape, putting the microphone on and trusting their luck.
Every word can be perfectly tailored to fit as much information into a sentence as possible. That's not always the case when you're just talking off the cuff. Hey, thanks for the raid, Vosh. I appreciate that.
Oh God, we have both of their fucking toxic waste fan bases in here.
We're actually covering Noah Samson's video on Vosh and me. I imagine many of you have already seen the video and Vosh's response, but if you're interested in seeing me respond to the video all over again, then feel free to stick around because we're gonna have a fun, good old time. It's gonna be good, okay? It's gonna be good. Anyway, yeah, I don't have a problem with this type of content. I don't even have a problem with it being popular. I guess.
He just spent like 22 minutes, nearly 23 minutes talking about how he has a problem with this content, and specifically a problem with this content being popular. I try to avoid that particular word, that's a pretty nasty ableist slur. I'd really Yeah. It took me some time to work that out of my vocabulary as well years ago, but I try to keep that out of my chat, though.
What I have a problem with is the largest figures in this video essayosphere just constantly shit.
Because, I mean, and the other thing is, I mean, to the extent that I don't think this is even necessarily, it isn't really even a matter of intelligence, to whatever we define that concept is, which is no worries, everybody has a first time to hear about it, which is a pretty fucking fraught thing. I think that these guys are both clever. They both, I mean, yeah, okay, dickhead sandwich, anything like that, drongo sandwich. I mean, it takes a certain kind of cleverness, a certain type of mental acuity to do what they do. I think the issue is Thoughtslime had this video where he was saying why he wasn't going to be using various other ableist slurs in that kind of that genre anymore, or trying not to say them anyway. And he said that the word he actually decided to start using is incurious. And these guys are a perfect example of that. They are so fucking incurious. They don't want to know about any of this stuff. They didn't bring Lua on the stream, Vosh didn't, to understand better about, different black radical ideologies and traditions and things. They brought her on in order to browbeat her and then just try to humiliate her, and then it failed, so they lied about her. They are profoundly incurious. And it's a shame, because the thing is, if they actually gave a shit about any of this stuff, if they gave a shit about understanding this stuff, about learning this stuff, they probably could do a lot of good. But they don't. They're just assholes. And on that cheery thought, it is 1-1, and it is time for me to wrap up for tonight. Thank you, as always, for coming. We still have a whole lot of this fucking Xander hole thing to get through, and we'll probably be revisiting it over the next few weeks. I will see you again on Friday, and until then, I'm always on Twitter. Good night.